Margaret Thatcher's death has had somewhat unexpected consequences. One of them is the revival of a song from the 1939 Judy Garland film, The Wizard of Oz. The song is Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. Jean Whalen has been looking at what is becoming quite a little controversy. Jean, who is buying this song? What's this all about?
So some anti-Thatcher protesters after her death set up some Facebook and Twitter campaign groups calling on people to buy this single from iTunes and Amazon, and they're trying to push it up into the #1 spot on the pop charts so that it'll, be widely listened to and played on this BBC pop chart show.
So the big thing at the moment is whether or not it'll become #1.
That's right. Yeah.
Can it be driven that high? I mean, but who is buying it? I mean, is it young people? Is it old people?
I don't know. It's just anyone who belongs to the Facebook or Twitter groups.
And one can only assume that if it's a young group, I mean, these are people who weren't even around when Thatcher was Prime Minister.
It's true. I was looking at one of the Facebook groups. The group is called The Witch is Dead, and a lot of the people who've joined the group look to be pretty young. So, maybe college students or high school students who, probably don't have a huge experience of Thatcher, but are definitely anti-Thatcher.
The BBC certainly seems to be caught up a little bit here in the controversy, because it doesn't know whether or not it should actually play the song if it does get to #1.
Right. They've so far said they'll decide on Sunday when the final pop charts are tallied which songs to play on the weekly show. They don't always play every single song in the charts. They can play some and not others. And I, asked them a bit about what do you think about the politics here, and they wouldn't really comment on that. So I guess we'll see on Sunday.
Well, it is. I mean, talking about the politics, it illustrates, I guess, the high emotions that Mrs. Thatcher can still actually stir up in the country.
Oh, yeah. We've seen a lot of that in the past few days since her death. I mean, just the street protests, the street parties that happened the evening after her death, people celebrating and singing this song, and posters and champagne. It wasn't huge amounts of people. It was a couple hundred here and there, but still
enough to actually grab headlines. But even in the House of Commons, look at this. The former actress Glenda Jackson getting completely vitriolic about the former Prime Minister.
Under Thatcherism was in fact a virtue. Greed, selfishness, no care for the weaker, sharp elbows, sharp knees. They were the way forward. We heard much over and will continue to hear over the next week of the barriers that were broken down by Thatcherism, the establishment that was destroyed.
We can't take it.
So obviously, Jean, with the Thatcher is going to. There is going to be this enormous funeral, ceremonial funeral on next Wednesday. What does this mean for security?
They are, of course, having security. I think they've called the whole Operation True Blue. They won't divulge a lot of what they're going to be doing, obviously, for security reasons. But I think probably police are expecting some level of protest. And there's been a protest rally planned for Saturday at Trafalgar Square. So I think there will be definitely some activity happening in the week to come.
Jean, thank you very much.
You're welcome.